camera. You give it to me. Give it off. Give it off. Down. Give it.
You know, for every holiday, there is a large minority of curmudgeons that are dedicated to not only hating it, but telling everyone else how much they hate it. Valentine's Day has this legion of dedicated haters, of course, and if you live in the Great Lakes, you have none other than Sweetest Day to loathe. But by and large, the holiday that earns the most strewn bile is, of course, Christmas.
Santa Claus, come quick! Look! Incoming!
It's a holiday that many people love to hate, and Hollywood has, of course, indulged our inner Scrooges with movies like Bad Santa, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and, of course, Scrooged.
It's Lee Majors, the $6 million band.
Santa, is there a back way out of this place?
It's the latter film that we're inducting into the Screen Besties today.
Show me the Scrooge promo.
Scrooge is not entirely an anti-Christmas film, but it's one that certainly indulges in a lot of enjoyably antisocial behavior. It's modeled on Dickens' A Christmas Carol, but it's hard to necessarily call it a parody. Instead, it seems to be more of a modern-day update, with Ebenezer Scrooge morphed into the character of Frank Cross, president of the IBC television network, who's obsessed with ratings and caring as little as possible about the people in his life.
Now, I have to kill all of you.
He is one of the worst examples of one of Hollywood's favorite archetypes, the uncaring executive. In most films, said executives get their comeuppance from the peons toiling away beneath them, but as this is an adaptation of A Christmas Carol, Frank has 3 ghosts coming his way to set him straight. Bill Murray's obsession as the film gets underway is, somewhat ironically, the staging of a $40 million live television special of, what else, A Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve. It is, of course, as gaudy and horrible an affair as you might imagine coming from the mind of a late 80s television executive.
And I will not allow this costume on the air.
Why not?
Well, specifically, you can see her nipples.
I want to see her nipple.
It comes complete with celebrity cameos, dancing showgirls, and mice with antlers almost stapled to their foreheads.
Have you tried Staples?
Staples?
As he struggles to get the show off the ground, Cross fires one good-hearted subordinate,
Have them change his locks, clean out his desk, and toss him out of the building.
denies his overworked secretary a Christmas bonus,
What about my bonus?
Towel or a face cloth.
and forces her to take down his Christmas list, in which he gives basically everyone he knows a corporate-branded towel.
The bath towel.
Tamara Forstall.
VHS.
This movie would not be anywhere near as iconic as it is were it not for Murray, who gives as over-the-top a performance as you're likely to see in any of his 80s films.
Grace, when I work late, you work late.
But I made the appointment 2 months ago.
I care.
Murray's always been one of those actors who could be an asshole and make us love him for it, and his character in Scrooge is perhaps the most assholey character he has ever portrayed.
Why don't the cops do something about this? Excuse me, please. Great, rip off the Hicks, why don't you? Did you learn the song yesterday?
He's an unhappy man who seems to take some kind of pleasure out of making those around him miserable, and it takes the ministrations of the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future to make him see what kind of an arc his life has been passing through.
May I?
The remonstrations of the various ghosts are generally played more for laughs than any kind of poignancy, but that's okay, since this is, after all, a comedy.
Did our people do that?
We do get a good look at his past relationship with Claire, played by the always charming Karen Allen. Even though Frank at one point had some kind of innocence and charm to him, the ghosts show how that was chipped away from him as he became the man he is in the film.
It's Christmas Eve. They're our best friends.
Yeah, it is Christmas. It's a time to be a little bit less selfish, you know?
The process is, again, generally a comedic one, as the ghosts seem more interested in antagonizing Frank than showing him the mistakes that he's made. That's perhaps especially true of Carol Kane as the ghost of Christmas Present, who misses no opportunity to abuse Frank physically.
Frank, we're fighting again. Let's not fight anymore.
In the end, Frank's redemption comes as a result of a particularly selfish moment, when he sees his own future and is theoretically afraid of dying alone and unloved.
No. Oh, please.
It's a bit of a quick turnaround, as Frank has been nothing but dismissive of the ghost up until that moment. But it does lead to the film's wonderful finale, in which Frank expiates all of his sins in front of a nationwide audience. And, of course, declares his love for Claire.
Claire, the whole world Claire. And they lived happily ever after.
It's a moment that is perhaps a little thick on the sentimentality, especially when the boy who hasn't talked in 5 years decides that now is the moment to break his silence.
God bless us, everyone.
But goddamn if someone doesn't peel onions in the room every time I watch it. Is Scrooge ridiculous? Yes, absolutely. But its ridiculousness and lack of fear of going too far is precisely what makes it an anti-Christmas classic. Even so, it's still a welcome antidote to the doses of sappiness that so many Christmas classics spoon out to us. It is also the latest entry into Screen's Besties.
All right, come on, give it to me. You think I'm afraid of you? The day I've had? I know what you came for. Come and get it, you pussy.
Bryce!
Stop scaring Frank.
Do you like Scrooged? Do you hate it? Either way, let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you again soon here on Scrooged.com.